back to my channel. This is Anastasia here with this week's Teen Mom Recap. Before I get started, just a few news updates. Janelle still hasn't released her new episode of her docu-series. I Have Something to Lie About, Something to Say, whatever you want to call it. Episode 5, I think, is supposed to come out. I don't know when it's coming out. She hasn't given any announcements. She's a lazy-ass bitch. I mean, what do we expect? But whenever that comes out, I will be making a video on it. Don't you worry about that. The presidential debate was actually on right after the Teen Mom 2 episode, and was it more interesting than the Teen Mom episode? It sure was. Yeah. Not gonna lie to you, I was looking way more forward to the presidential debate than I was to this Teen Mom episode because the season of Teen Mom has been, Maybe it'll be a little better once Kale announces her pregnancy. I get the feeling a lot of drama is gonna come in then. Before I get started, I would really appreciate it if you guys would subscribe to my channel. We are almost about to hit 3,000 subscribers. Well, we're sort of getting there. I think I'm at 2.7k right now. If you watch these episodes every week, or if you even watched one of these episodes and you really enjoyed it, I would really appreciate it if you would go ahead and subscribe. Now let's get started. This episode starts off with Chelsea for some reason. She wants to make absolutely sure that Aubry wants Adam to go to the father-daughter dance along with Cole. In other words, she's gonna ask Aubry over and over and over and over again until she gets this certain answer that she's looking for. Probably a no. So she asks again and Aubry barely shakes her head no. Chelsea's like, no? Really? Really looking in the rearview mirror like, no? And Aubry's like, yeah, okay, no. Like, she really just wanted Chelsea to shut the hell up because Chelsea wasn't gonna stop asking until she got the answer that she wanted. Kale talks to her friend Mark about the incident with her mom. Shout out to Mark, by the way. He's like the only man in Kale's life that she hasn't had sex with or had any drama with for like 10 years now. They talk about the medium and how Mark has always said that Kale's mom still loves her. I'm really surprised that someone this optimistic has remained in Kale's life this long. Kale's like, well, my phone number hasn't changed in 10 years, and my mom is the adult, so my mom is the one at fault, and she always has been. I mean, you guys are both adults now, but we'll just move on from that. Jade is still mad at her mom for being late to the graduation, but she lets it go for now because she has to live with her mom and work with her. Crazy how convenient that is for Christy. The entire family still works at Jade's grandma's restaurant. However, Granny has been cutting all of their hours as of recently, so it's not going too well. Even worse, Christy takes them all to the back porch and announces, well, the restaurant is closed as of today, and it already has potential buyers. Damn, it really be your own grandma sometimes. I guess Grandma Klein didn't have the respect to tell them all this herself, that the whole restaurant's gonna close down, despite the fact that her entire family tree is working there. I mean, that's kind of shitty they had to hear it from Christy. Now, every last one of them doesn't have a job. Christy says that getting a job is what got her out of her addiction, so she would really hate to be jobless again. She has applied for another place and has an interview coming up. Jade is ready to open her salon, and that's going to be her new job. Allie hasn't been wearing her glasses lately, and she has an ophthalmologist appointment coming up to try to get contact lens. Gracie doesn't want to go along to this, and she wants to go to Jeremy's house with Addie during the appointment. Leah asks why she wants to go to Jeremy's, and Gracie says, well, yeah, he has food. Unlike Leah, right? Do you guys remember the days when her girls were open up the fridge saying, I'm hungry, there's no food in here, I'm starving? I sure remember those days, and I'm sure Leah does too. So Leah calls Jeremy asking if Gracie can stay with Addie and him, and he says, well, I'll text you about it like it's some big secret going on. So he texts her, and the text says, girl, don't you think that's gonna start some shit with Corey? You know, I don't care, I just don't want to start drama, you know. Jeremy likes to act like he's this manly man, so masculine, I lay down pipe in West Virginia. But he's such a little drama king. Like, you're watching this girl and her half-sister for a few hours. It's not that big a deal, my dude. Even Leah's like, of course I'm gonna let her, that's her sister. If there's drama, then you guys can get over it. I don't know if that was a desperate attempt by production to start drama or what. Shirley meets up with Brianna to talk about her STD. She says it could have been worse. Your vagina could have been falling out. Sadly, that might actually be beneficial to Brianna. It would stop Lewis from pretending he actually wants to be around her. Or maybe not, she still has a mouth. It's been God knows how long since she's been diagnosed, but she still hasn't told Lewis. I mean, Lewis has probably banged like 10 different club skanks by now who think that he has MTV money, and he could be spreading it to all these people because you haven't told him. Like, you're not just hurting him by not telling him, you're hurting all these potential girls. Now that she finally texts him, she just says, who you been fucking? She says, I'm not gonna tell him what he has to find out for himself. Jesus Christ, Brianna! You're gonna let this dude think he might have AIDS just to be petty? He responds, whacked, and then, why? Meaning the answer probably isn't good. Brianna says, I tested positive for something. He says, I don't have anything going on. I'm being as honest as I can be. I'm gonna make an appointment. I'm sorry. Brianna once again brings poor Stella into this disgusting STD spectacle saying, oh, this is gonna affect her the most. Shirley tells Brianna not to be a bitch to Lewis, and Brianna just says if he doesn't plan on sticking around, we're gonna have a problem. Chelsea tells Cole that Aubry no longer wants Adam to go to the father-daughter dance. She thinks it's so weird. It's almost like when you ask your kid the same question 75 times over and over and over again, the kid's gonna get the message that the parent wants a specific answer, and then she'll stop asking. Cole just agrees like, yeah, that's so weird. Thank God I don't gotta converse with Adam at this thing. Chelsea hopes that Aubry doesn't feel conflicted, and they hope that maybe she just feels a little awkward about it. Next is Kale. Isaac tells Kale, you look miserable. So it's not just the online trolls saying that, huh, Kale? Please never lose that brutal honesty, Isaac. Kale is going to therapy with Joe, and she tells her friend about it. She doesn't like how Joe freaks out about having Isaac his week, but he doesn't even take his son to all his extracurriculars and his sports. She hopes that Joe doesn't just list all the reasons that he hates her during the therapy session. Jade needs to get a salon space quickly since they're all unemployed. She goes to a place and she's first come first serve, and she ends up agreeing to rent the place for $230 a week. Which, tea spilling time. I'm not sure how accurate this is, but there's been a lot of rumors that Jade got kicked out of this place because she would smoke weed in the whole building and it was spread to all the other salons. Sean would hang around and make everybody uncomfortable. They would blast gross music and she wouldn't show up for appointments that people had paid for. But we'll just try to be positive for now. Maybe it's not true. The ophthalmologist looks at Allie and tells her that her left eye looks good, but her right eye is her bad eye, and that's always been like that. He says no to contact lens because the glasses offer the physical protection to her eyes, because if she ever gets, for example, hit with a ball in her only good eye, she would basically be blind. Which I feel super bad about that. I myself have always hated glasses so much. I strictly wear contacts. I'm wearing them right now. I wish there was another way around that for her, you know? Leah calls Corey and tells him that everything's good except for she can't wear the contact, and Allie in the back seat complains about wearing the glasses, but she's not like totally depressed over it or anything. Cole asks Aubry if she's ready to boogie tonight, and he starts doing this weird little dance in his chair, and Aubrey's in the back seat looking like, when am I gonna age out of this BS? They both get their nails done, and Chelsea takes pictures, and for once we don't have to hear Chelsea yell at the camera, guys say cheesy potatoes, while they're taking the pictures, so that's an improvement from the last 5 father-daughter dances, I guess. They come back, Chelsea asks if they slow dance, and they say yes. This entire concept is a little bit weird to me. Maybe it's a Midwestern or Southern thing. In her little diary blog, Chelsea says, oh my gosh, we just forget all the time that Cole isn't Aubrey's biological father. No, you don't, girl, and I'm sure every time you remember that, your eye twitches just a little bit more. Lewis has been texting Brianna how sorry he is, and she's been ignoring him, but eventually she finally agrees to let him come see Stella tomorrow. Roxanne is just eating this up. She's like, I'm not gonna be nice to him no more. This just isn't fair. It's not your fault. He's gonna use this as an excuse, and then they both start crying about how unfair it is. Like, these bitches do realize that it takes 2 to tango, and it's actually both of their faults. In fact, from what we saw, it was Brianna initiating with him, so if anything, it's both of their faults. Jade is opening her salon next week and asks her dad and Sean to come help set it up. While she's talking to Sean, he's more focused on rubbing out his eye boogers at the moment. She also talks about canceling Chloe's daycare because now that they're all unemployed, Sean can just watch her. She's talking about finding her calling and all this, but Sean is just finding his calling of duty because he starts playing video games mid-sentence while he's talking to her. Like headphones and all. The disrespect. The disrespect! I feel so bad for Jade. I don't necessarily think she's a bad person, but everyone around her is such trash. Like, bottom of the barrel, doesn't even make any effort. Her mom and Sean don't even have the decency to look her in the face while she's talking directly to their faces. They're on their phone, they're playing video games, they're not listening. Clearly not listening, and I guess Jade doesn't even want to start an argument by pointing it out. And this is despite the fact that she literally pays all their bills for them and provides them housing and food. For nothing in return. Kale returns from therapy with Joe and says that it went well. They're on better terms now. She agrees that next time she leaves Isaac with someone, she'll tell him who it is, but she's not going to ask him permission for who it is. Always gotta have the upper hand there, Kale. They discussed how Joe bails on Isaac's sports and extracurriculars to go take him to family because he thinks that Isaac should value family more, which Kale doesn't understand since she doesn't really have a family, and because she's probably paying for all those sports lessons. All in all, Kale says, I just don't want to be responsible for fucking my kid up, and Isaac responds, you are a good parent. Man, that honesty from Isaac is gone already. I'm just kidding. Over at Jeremy's house, they're all trying to pull out Addie's tooth, and Jeremy says, where's Randy Huska when you need him? Hey, the Huska family sends their regards for that shout out. Leah says, we're all in a great place now, and it's just great and boring. Lewis arrives to Brianna's place, and Brianna says, wash your hands, you look dirty. Yeah, well, that's not the only thing that's dirty. Brittany slowly eats her fried chicken while staring at the camera like she's in the office. Louis says he's going to the doctor next week and he's so sorry. He promises to be better than before. I'm just not gonna stop apologizing to you, Brianna. And Brianna says, you don't care about yourself to know what's going on in your body. I never trusted you in the first place. This whole experience left a weird taste in my mouth. I'm just gonna leave that one there. We can't be anything more than parents to Stella. I'm just scared you'll be mad that I don't want to be with you. Bitch, this man is relieved you don't want to be with him. He promises to stick around regardless of whether Brianna is a bitch, because I mean, she's still got those interest-free loans that he's never gonna pay back, and that's something to stick around for still. And that's all for this episode of Teen Mom 2. How do you think Jade's salon will do? And what do you think of the argument between Kale and Joe in the therapy session? Stay tuned to my channel. I'm gonna be reviewing Janelle's docuseries as soon as it comes out. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that, and subscribe so you don't miss any of the Teen Mom recaps that I post every single week.